Good evening and thanks for joining us this Tuesday. I'm Martha Kolaski. An Onalaska mom has a lot to be thankful for this Thanksgiving. Her son was injured but survived after falling out of a hotel window in La Crosse earlier this year. And now she's taking her near tragedy and turning it into a call for action. News 8's Mike Thompson joins us now at 10 with her story.
Martha, according to two statistics from the National Safe Kids campaign, about 18 children die each year from falls from windows. Another 4,700 children require treatment. Statistics that are all too real for an Onalaska mom who's now fighting for change.
All right, buddy, you ready? Yeah. Come on.
4-year-old Alex Wagner is an active, full of life little boy. He and his 3-year-old sister, Abby, keep Mom Amy on her toes.
Mom, we got to work out today.
But this picture of happiness was nearly shattered earlier this year. It started with a grease fire at their home back in May, leaving it unlivable.
The kids lost basically everything. We had over 500 slides of all the different things that were gone.
On very short notice, Amy had to find some place for she and the kids to go. They moved into a local hotel.
We lived in several hotels, actually.
A single mom, stressed but managing, Amy's life was about to take another unexpected turn, this time on an otherwise quiet and routine evening in June.
It had rained all that weekend, and I'd been in a hotel for a month with 2 small children sharing a bed, and so I opened the windows. I was making dinner because they had a little kitchen suite. And then they were playing around there. They were 2 and 3, and so they're just happy-go-lucky. And then my daughter informed me that my son had fallen out the window.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
My son just fell out of a 3rd-story window.
Okay.
In just a matter of seconds, Alex fell out of the hotel window, 3 stories to the ground below.
The screen gave away. Okay, can you let go, get the phone.
Okay, we're going to get some help on the way, okay?
I went to the window, and I looked down, and thankfully, he never lost consciousness. He had some blood coming out of his nose.
Miraculously, Alex walked away with just a few stitches and some bumps and bruises.
I think the rain actually saved his life, because if it hadn't rained, it wouldn't have been soft enough to absorb him. When he fell, the screen came out, and he basically face planted. But because of the rain, he sunk in.
Amy considers Alex her little miracle.
To say blessed is how I feel, because how lucky was I? How truly lucky could any one person be that this child fell 3 stories?
For Amy, the accident was enough to drive her to take action. She's now working to make sure no other family has to go through the same thing.
It's something that will always live in my life. It's a look. I didn't lose my child, thank God, but it's a 3rd story.
According to the building codes, there's virtually nothing regulating the safety of screens and windows in hotels across the state.
If the window is lower than 24 inches off the floor, then you have to supply the proper guardrails so they can't fall through, but that's the only code that I'm aware of.
Most people are amazed, actually, that there isn't those codes. Most people think that that's just automatic, but it's not.
Amy recently petitioned the Wisconsin Department of Commerce to change the building code.
I'd like that there be some type of mandate on what kind of screens you can put in a hotel that's at least above the 2nd story.
Also in her petition to the state, Amy wrote she believes changes are needed to the locks on hotel windows.
I'm not an engineer and I'm not a designer, but we need to do something for nobody else to get hurt.
Alex is now just like any other kid his age. Amy says he does have some very minor cognitive delays from the accident and also just had to have his 4 front teeth removed. He still remembers the fall well.
I pushed the window back, and then I fell and bumped my tooth, and it went all gone. I fell on the grass and I hit really hard. The grass is really hard.
An accident that hasn't slowed down this 4-year-old or his mother as she now fights for change.
It's my own little miracle. So I feel that I need to make sure that it doesn't happen to someone else.
Now, the Wisconsin Department of Commerce, who oversees the state's building inspectors, declined to comment for this story. They say they're in the process of looking over public input and comments for possible inclusion into any changes that are made to the building code. A draft is then submitted to the legislature for full approval.
I tell you what, when you see this story, though, you really think of how differently the circumstances could have been had he not fallen in the grass, number one. But number two, it also looks like, as far as the Wagner family goes at this point, they're really not looking for any financial compensation, but maybe just a change.
Yeah, she's not after anyone in particular about this story. She just wants a change made so this doesn't happen to any other family.
All right, thanks, Mike.